Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching as always. We're going to look at this Yard Machines big wheel push mower today. I got it in a lot of things that I paid $75 for, and I've already sold a pressure washer out of the lot for $140 that I didn't have to do anything to. And I sold a Husqvarna 41 chainsaw for $115 that all I had to do was put a carb on. So I'm doing pretty good on the lot. I've got a weed eater push mower that came with that lot that was already running. I just had to install a kill switch. So we're making out really good. This is the fourth item in that. I don't think I filmed any. I filmed the chainsaw. No, I filmed a 136 chainsaw. The 41 chainsaw was very similar to that. And I didn't film the pressure washer because I didn't have to do anything to it. But we're going to film this one. It's a Yard Machines. It kind of runs for a few seconds and then it'll quit. I think it may have a swollen seat in the carburetor, or it may just have a little bit of blockage in the jet. Not quite sure which one yet. We're going to get into the carburetor on it. And I already kind of washed it up a little bit. I'll have to give it one final rinse. I washed it with that pressure washer that I fixed. But I think it's about a 6 horsepower Quantum, and it's a 22-inch cut. Good condition overall. Hopefully it just needs a little bit of carb work. Air filter's even in good shape. So we'll go ahead and get started. If you have any questions about this video or any other that you see on the channel, feel free to reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com. You can also reach out to me on Instagram and Facebook at ellismowers09. Let's go ahead and get started on this Yard Machines push mower. Alright, as always, we start with a Walkaround. Big wheel push mower, as I mentioned many times, it's got adjustable wheels and all that good stuff. Pull rope is okay. It's a little bit old, but I don't see where it's really frayed that bad. I don't think I'll have to touch that. The recoil works good. The air filter is actually in pretty decent shape too. It's got very minimal dirt and just need to beat that out a little bit. We'll set that aside for now. If I can find the year, we can guess the year. So take a look at what we've got, the logos and stuff, and figure out what year this is. Alright, if y'all have guessed, I will guess. I do not know what it is, but we're going to see if I can find it. The stickers off of this. I think it's, I see EPA Phase 1 here, which means that it's probably before 2002, or maybe it's between 2000. Maybe it's a little bit above 2002. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with. Man, it looks newer. It looks newer though with the covers and stuff. I'm gonna go 2004. I think I'm a little bit older. I think it's a little bit newer. Let's see if I can find the engine numbers here. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have to get a flashlight because I can't see that very well. Oh, I actually am newer. I was right. Or I was wrong, actually. Sorry. So I've got a, what is it, a 12H802. And it looks like it is 010620. I don't know how well y'all can see that. So 2001, I was correct. It was, I think Phase 2 EPA is after 2003, if I remember right. So, again, not bad at all for the year. We're talking 21 years old. And we'll look at the blade underneath as well. The blade's pretty done. I've got plenty of 22-inch replacement blades. So that's not a big deal either. Oil, black as tar. Definitely will be changing that. Like I said, I did get this thing to run when I originally got it. It's been set up for a month or so since I got it. I'm going to put gas in it, see if we can get it to at least fire, and if we can, we'll continue on and we'll probably take the carb off and see how bad it is. Alright guys, put gas in it. Last time I put gas in it, it did prime and it did run, but it only ran for a few, maybe a minute or two before it finally went out. But you can see it's priming great. Which means the needle and seat is working. So we might just have a slightly clogged jet here. let's see. Let's get it out of the way of expensive items, right? Although that X mark's probably just as expensive as that Honda right there. This thing's gonna make a liar out of me. How about that? Ran decent. Got a little bit of smoke coming out the carb. I don't know if it's like flooding now or what. I might let it sit here for a few minutes and see what happens. I mean, I'll go ahead and change the oil in it and put a new blade on it. And do I need to lube these up as well? Probably. Throw a little bit of WD-40 on them. See if this floods. If not, I mean, it may have cured itself. It may have just not ran for a while and needed some cleaning out. I'll throw some seafoam in it as well. So I'm going to do all those things, and we might have a quick flip here and a short video for you. Alright, y'all, I got it up on the bench. This is going to take a little bit of time to do, but don't mind the oil here. It was really slow to fill up, so I got it on certain spots. We'll get it washed off, wiped off, make it not look like it was there. But right here you can see that we have a little bit of a fuel leak from the seam of the gas tank, unfortunately. So I have plenty of gas tanks here. I'm going to take the gas tank off. Shouldn't be too bad to get to. It's all about finding the right tools. You just got a couple of Phillips heads here to start. I will need to take the pull rope and bring it. That's what I'm doing now. Bringing the pull rope down here. And taking some screws off. It's relatively easy to take these off. That's one of the downfalls of these Quantums, is that they have these plastic gas tanks. And when these things, they're bad about breaking at the seam here. Even if they have been taken care of. Ooh, we got a little bit of a grass up here. Well, all right. So give a 5/16 out. I am going to also take, and most of the gas should be out of this already. Hopefully it is. I'm going to take the vice grips. Just clamp this hose off. Not totally necessary right now, but we may need it later. Take these pliers. We're going to take this fuel line off. Fuel line looks like it's in good shape. I may not even have to replace it on this. You can see I got a little bit left in there. May just leave it like that for a second until we get this thing out. But what I can do, I suppose, is actually test to see the air leak. And if you caution before doing this, if you blow into the gas tank, we should be able to feel it coming out of the side over here. So and I can definitely hear it coming out of the side over here, which would make sense. A lot of times this stuff will bust on the inside seam just from the heat and the temperature. So you gotta be cautious of that. There's 3 5/16 inch bolts up top. And you should have 1 3/8 on the bottom as well. There we go. That should allow us to take it off. You can tilt it back like this and the fuel won't come out, but it came out the back side. There's this bushing that will go on the new tank. Actually, I think the new tank doesn't have, this is broke on the new tank, which isn't that big of a deal, but I'm going to bring the new tank over. I'll do the blow test on it to make sure that it's okay. And actually, while we're here, I'll show you. So there's your bust in the tank. It broke right there, right in between where the tank comes around and the seam comes right there. So that's a very common place. You can kind of see where it's already started cracking down on the bottom right here as well. So very common place. Not really a need to repair this one. Likely just going to take the gas cap off, save it, and toss that in the trash. Let me get the new one, and we'll do the blow test on it. If not, I'll go find another one, and we'll put it back on. Alright guys, I know there's probably a better way to pressure test these, but this is what I do. I'm just going to hold the nipple here where the fuel outlet is and just blow into this thing. And I don't feel like it's not giving me any resistance or anything, or it's giving me a bunch of resistance and it's not allowing my air to pass through anywhere, unlike the other one, which I'll show you real quick. Because, you know, I live life on the edge, right? Y'all can probably hear that, hopefully. So if you ain't got no tools and you got good air in your lungs, you can see if that will work. And for us it did. The only negative about this one, it's not that big of a deal, but it may vibrate a little bit more. is that this right here is broken off of it, unfortunately. That's because the engine that I took this off of had a bent shaft, and it just vibrated the mess out of it. Which I am somewhat surprised that it did not mess up the gas tank. A lot of times when it's vibrating like that, it's going to mess up the gas tank too. After I do this, I have already put a new blade in it. I'll show you that blade here in just a second. But there you go. Just be very careful if you do an impact with these. I've done them hundreds and hundreds of times, it seems, and so it makes it a little bit easier. Makes it a little bit easier for me to just zing it off and zing it on. Gonna put the clamp back on here. Voila. And I'll show you the blade that I took off of it and why I took it off. Oops. As you can see, it has lost all of its lift. And a lot of times when you lose a lot of its lift, you lose some of the weight of the blade, and that's probably why it was pulsing up and down a little bit, especially when it first started. Probably a bunch of different factors, but this definitely didn't help. I have a universal blade on there now that has a little bit of rust on it, but all the lift and everything is still there. So we're going to use that, and I'll take and put this back together with that cover on it. I'll put some gas in it. We'll start her up, make sure it doesn't leak or anything. We'll give it a nice wash, and like I said, we've already changed the oil in it, and this thing will be done. Quick flip, quick fix. I think that one's done, guys. Washed it, cleaned it, did all the good stuff to it, and it seems to run. It was trying to stumble in the beginning, and that's why I just let it run for maybe a good 10 minutes. That's what I do all of my mowers. I let them run, like I said, about 10 minutes or so, just to make sure everything settles and is good to go. I let them sit for a few minutes and then restart them back up, just to make sure that the needle in the seat and the carb is doing good. And usually we have good luck. Obviously I start them. Still got a little bit of time before I sell. When I make this video anyway, it's probably getting very close when this airs. So we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. I'll just give a recap of everything that I did, and we'll send this one on, I suppose. Alright guys, so that's everything on this yard machines. One thing that I failed to mention is that it still has the mulching cover on it, which is kind of cool. A lot of times you get these side discharge ones and they never have them. So I've probably only had maybe, gosh, I've done, I don't know how many hundreds of mowers, and I've probably only had like 5 or 6 used ones that have had the mulching cover come through, if that. So that's kind of a big plus for selling. Again, these right here pull about $100, probably anywhere between $80 and $100. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's pretty much paid for itself because of the other items that I have sold in the lot that has pushed it into the profit margin. So this is just pure profit for me, which is awesome. I'll take it. Quick flips like this, did it even take me an hour? Not really, even including filming this, which is really nice. So that's kind of what we got going on this mower. Again, realized after the fact it does need a fuel tank. We put a fuel tank on it. The other one was cracked pretty bad in that spot under the seam and right there where it joins on this side right here. This one is not. This one's got that broken bracket at the bottom, but it's the it was the most accessible tank that worked, so I put it on here, and seems to be running fine now. Priming good, starting good, running good, and I'll give it a little bit more testing because I don't know why it was trying to stumble and die out there at one point, but it seems like it tried to do it once and then it picked itself back up and ran great for another 7 or 8 minutes, and usually it would have the issue in that amount of time. So sometimes you have these quirks with these used mowers. It just kind of depends. Lubed up the height adjusters. They're working now as well. The blade that I put on, it's one of those universal blades, so it's not quite as smooth as the old one, but the old one also didn't have any metal left on it for lift, so it's just going to turn, not really provide any resistance or any good lift whatsoever. The one I put on it works just fine though. So hope y'all enjoyed this, for me, relatively short video, just swapping out this gas tank and just kind of clearing the throat on this carburetor, I suspect, since we don't have to put anything in it. Thank you again for watching. Again, if you have any questions or comments on the video, you can feel free to reach out down below, or you can email me, ellis@ellismowers.com, or you can reach out to me on Instagram and Facebook at ellismowers09. Thanks again for all the support. Y'all really helped grow the channel here recently and increase view count, which is awesome, and I appreciate that, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. See you then.